once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. As you can see, we have a new announce desk reminiscent of a certain large American company's announce desks, and yeah, we're going up in the world. We've got a curtain pole holding up the background so that won't fall down anymore, although that was really fun. Obviously the wireless microphones, the decent camera and things like that, so we're getting better and better and better, so we're hoping to produce better and better and better content. If you think that is happening, obviously click the like button and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff, but we're going to take you today through everything that happened at Elimination Chamber, and a little graphic should pop up on the front of the announce desk here. So yeah, we're going to take you through everything that happened at Elimination Chamber. It happened on the 17th of February and it took place in Texas, some kind of center somewhere. Anyway, yeah, so it was in Texas. So that was cool, and yeah, it was a really good show. So if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it and then come back and watch the review, because there will be spoilers in this video. In the meantime, click the like I say, click the like button and do all that kind of stuff. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. You'll find more Instagram posts now, as I've started getting used to the idea of Instagram. It's pretty cool. So you'll see lots more stuff on there. Anyway, it's time to move on with the show. I'll take you through all of the matches. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the Elimination Chamber took place in Texas. It was the Toyota Center. As I said, I didn't know where it was. It was Houston, Texas, just to put that in perspective. Same city that hosted WrestleMania 19. That was at the Safeco Field, which was a baseball arena, and that was for WrestleMania. They're now using baseball arenas for Royal Rumbles. They've just announced that the Royal Rumble is going to be in Houston, Texas next year, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, we're guaranteed a new champion, or a set of new champions in the way of a women's tag team champions. It's like I say, at least one new champion. Turns out we got quite a few new champions leading into WrestleMania, but the pre-show is going to be where we're going to stop first, and it was for the Cruiserweight Championship of the world, the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. It was Akira Tozawa versus the champion Buddy Murphy. Akira Tozawa won a fatal four-way match to get into this match at Elimination Chamber. So yeah, Akira Tozawa, a former champion, held the title for not very long before he lost it again, unfortunately, but yeah, former champion, and yeah, it was a decent match, and it's a shame that these things are relegated to the pre-show, because obviously being the Cruiserweight Championship, it's always going to be on the pre-show, which is a damn shame, but at least they get their pay-per-view check. Anyway, the match starts nice and quick, as you could expect from the participants in 205 Live, and the Cruiserweights. Tozawa flies early, gets caught and suplexed onto the concrete, well, the matting there, tries to fly out of the ring. Buddy Murphy catches him dead weight and then suplexes him onto the floor. Everything Tozawa tries is countered by the champion. Murphy hits a hip toss to the outside of the ring, over the top ropes, and a missile drop kick, pump kick, knee to the head, and near fall for Buddy Murphy. There's a top rope Hurricane Runner by Tozawa to counter a move by Buddy Murphy. A flurry of moves, including a knee to the face, can't put the challenger away. Bridging deadlift German suplex by Akira Tozawa by the challenger on the champion. after an exchange of strikes which Tozawa wins, and an inverted Hurricane Runner and a high senton to a prone Murphy, who is draped on the ropes, which we think took a little bit out of the move as Tozawa jumped off the top rope and landed back first onto Buddy Murphy. But obviously the ropes are bouncy, so that would have taken some of the impetus out of it. There's a Murphy's Law which is hit straight after this, after countering an octopus stretch by Tozawa to retain the championship. Buddy Murphy wins with the Murphy's Law and retains the Cruiserweight Championship. Again, a really, really good match. If you're thinking of watching Elimination Chamber, make sure you check out that pre-show match because it's really, really good. And I hope that one day the Cruiserweights will get on the main card because they are really, really good these days. When it first came about, when they first reinstated the Cruiserweights, I could see why there was no love for them, but now it's a completely different ball game. It's so good over on 205 Live, and from what I've seen on the Cruiserweights on the pay-per-views that we see that get put on the network, absolutely fantastic. And I may have to start watching 205 Live again. But your winner again is your champion, and current reigning defending champion is Buddy Murphy. So we now go on to the main card. The first match of the main card at Elimination Chamber is quite surprising. I thought they would have put this on last, but it is the Women's Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match. We're going to crown the first ever, in the modern era, first ever women's tag team champions. How far the ladies have come since the start of the women's revolution. So it is the Riot Squad featuring Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. It is Nia Jax and Tamina, Carmella and Naomi, the Iconics, which is Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and Sasha Banks and Bayley and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, also known as Fire and Desire, in this match. So we start the match with Mandy Rose. We start the match with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville versus Bayley and Sasha. We knew this was going to happen. It was predetermined on SmackDown and Raw respectively, and yeah, both teams put up a really good fight. To say they started the match, I think it's every 5 minutes another pod opens. The Elimination Chamber is noticeably bigger. Obviously they changed the design, the structure of it last year at Elimination Chamber. It is now square. There's padding on the floor to make it nicer to be in, I suppose. I mean, is an Elimination Chamber ever going to be nice to be in? Who knows? But the ladies don't hold back. There's plexan glass going everywhere in this match, and yeah, they put on a really, really good show. I had my reservations, but yes, they put on a really, really good show. I had my reservations about another tag team Elimination Chamber match, but clearly the bigger environment lent itself to tag team wrestling or multi-team wrestling. In the old structure, we had a tag team match in the Elimination Chamber, and it was just a cluster. You couldn't see anything. There was lots of things happening that you couldn't make out. There's too many bodies in that kind of environment. In this one, with it being bigger, it was a lot better, and yeah, it was really good. Going to take you through the eliminations, and everything that happened. So like I say, we start with Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Fire and Desire. Those two teams fight it out with each other quite well, and they obviously wear each other down. We then get the third team to come in, which is the Riot Squad, which is Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, also the first team to be announced down to the ring. 5 minutes later we get the Iconics, which is Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, who put on a really good show actually in this one. Very much a mean streak from the Iconics. They're painted a lot as a comedy team, which I don't think is a good look for them, to be honest. But here they really show what they could do. Lots of destruction and lots of tag team moves, taking out the other teams that have already entered the match, who are visibly and quite notably quite tired by this point, having gone sort of 10 minutes with no break and there's no rest, there's no tags in and out of the ring. So yeah, it was really impressive from the Iconics to come in to that. We then get Carmella and Naomi, Show and Glow or something like that, I think they're called. Just a tag team that was chucked together to fill the chamber, really. And 5 minutes later we get the last team in, which is Nia Jax and Tamina. Now all 5 teams managed to get in the ring, enter the match before the first elimination. The first elimination, and I called this, was Carmella and Naomi. I didn't call the Iconics actually eliminating these two, bearing in mind that both of these ladies are former champions in their own right on SmackDown. I didn't see the Iconics eliminating Carmella and Naomi, but Carmella and Naomi are out. They are the first ones out. The next to go are the Iconics. So the Iconics go out next after making an elimination, so a little bit of momentum for them, but not loads, and they are eliminated, second by Nia Jax and Tamina. After some double team moves, Tamina hits a snooker flying splash thing, and the Iconics are eliminated. The third team to go, and I'm quite surprised by this, but then it would lead to something later on, is the Riot Squad. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan go next, and they are eliminated by the same team, Nia Jax and Tamina, the Samoan Wrecking Squad or whatever they're called now. So the fourth elimination, and this is again really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting. At one point we also had the Iconics hiding in a pod, and Tamina and Nia Jax opened the pods and then beat them up, and that's how they got eliminated. But then the next elimination is interesting, because my good friend, my colleague, Mr. Ben Cocker of Squared Circle Jobbers, had Nia Jax and Tamina to win this match, but they get eliminated fourth, and they get eliminated by Bayley and Sasha. So that obviously will lead to something down the line. I think they did have an impromptu match on Raw. So that leaves us with the two teams that started the match, in Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, Fire and Desire, and Bayley and Sasha Banks, the Boss Hook Connection. So a quote of the night as the last two teams battle each other. Quote of the night from Corey Graves is, "Divine intervention from God's greatest creation." Of course, he's talking about Mandy Rose when she pulls Sonya Deville out of the way. So yeah, these two teams are just beating each other up at this point. Obviously Nia Jax has gone through a pod. Bayley goes into the strut that holds the pods up, the metal pole that supports the pod, and Sasha does the same thing. Obviously, it was noted that Sasha was injured before this match. Didn't seem to stop her too much, but she's always clutching at that back and that neck anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, after these two teams beating each other up, they've climbed to the top of the pods. They've done suplexes from the top of the pods. They jumped off the top of the pods and all that kind of stuff when all the other ladies were in. We finally get a winner, and your inaugural Women's Tag Team Champions are the Boss Hug Connection. Called it. Points for me on the prediction league. Boom. The Boss Hug Connection are the first ever in the modern era Women's Tag Team Champions, and I said who would hold the championships and carry them really well in the first sort of stint with the championships, and it was the Boss Hug Connection. It could lead to something really big at WrestleMania. Perhaps the Wrestling 4 Horsewomen coming out with all 4 championships. Who knows? That would lead to a 4 Horsewomen versus 4 Horsewomen match somewhere down the line. Prediction? Maybe. But congratulations to Bayley and Sasha Banks for becoming the first ever Women's Tag Team Champions in the modern era. So the second match on the card, and I feel sorry for whichever teams or singles have to go after that match. That was my exact quote after the Women's Elimination Chamber match. But it was another tag team match. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships are on the line. It is the champions McMiz Man versus the Usos, and one of the Usos is already in the Uso penitentiary. So can the other one join them and take the championships in this match? So after some jockeying for position, after some isolation of teams, of individuals, Shane and Miz managed to get on top in this match, and this is where we see the first big spot of this match. Of course, Shane likes to fly, so he sets up the Usos. It takes them both out on his own, sets up the Usos, one in either corner, goes coast to coast on the first Uso, and then he tries to go coast to coast on the other Uso in the other corner, but gets kicked in the face for his troubles with a super kick from said Uso. Near fall as the Miz breaks up the pin on Shane. Obviously it takes a lot out of Shane to do the coast to coast, so to try and do 2 of them is nuts, one after the other. Shane goes high risk again as Miz sets up Jey Uso on the table. Beats him up on the table. Jimmy Uso is away from the ring, and Shane flies from the top rope and puts Jey Uso through the table. So that's 3 high flying spots in this match from Shane McMahon alone. Here comes the money, Shane-O. Here comes the money. Anyway, Jimmy then hits a super kick, and a splash is countered with the knees by the Miz as Shane lies prone on the outside with Jey Uso. Skull crushing finale is hit, and the pin by Miz is the roll up, but pinned by Miz, but Jimmy Uso then manages to twist it and rolls the Miz up for the win. So we get a winner in this match, and it's not who I predicted, which is a damn shame, because I thought McMiz Man were going to carry the tag team championships for a little bit longer. But I do also like the Usos as well, and the Miz McMahon connection lives to fight another day. Maybe we'll get a rematch at WrestleMania, but I really like their team, and I think they've got something with it. But your winners and new SmackDown Tag Team Champions are Jimmy and Jey, the Usos. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. That's 2 matches and 2 new champions in 2 matches, not counting obviously the Cruiserweight Championship, which was on the pre-show anyway and didn't change hands. But the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions are the Usos. So next we get to see Finn Balor again in a 2-on-1 handicap match. It is the champion Bobby Lashley defending his Intercontinental Championship against Finn Balor, but of course Lio Rush is also in this match, hence the 2-on-1 handicap stipulation. Now I had a prediction here that Finn would pin Lio Rush. Finn for the pin, out on a limb for Finn for the pin. Oh, I'm getting confused now. Anyway, so 2-on-1 definitely plays into this match. The idea is obviously there's 2 people on one side, 1 person on the other, but if you isolate one of those people, namely the weak link, then you've got a massive chance at coming away with the championship, or coming away with the win if the championship is not on the line. Anyway, there's a focus on the back of Balor after Lio Rush draws him out of the ring and runs around the ring to be cut off by Bobby Lashley, as Bobby Lashley smashes into Finn Balor as he charges around the ring after Lio Rush. There's a bit of dissension between Lio Rush and Lashley in this match. Lots of tagging going off without willing willing from the partner. So then Lashley rams Finn Balor into the barricade, really hard into the barricade, takes out Finn Balor, and then the focus on the back continues of Finn Balor. Balor is being absolutely dominated by Bobby Lashley. We saw the domination that Brock Lesnar had over Finn Balor before the last flurry, and got into the match a little bit more. But it's the same here. Bobby Lashley using his strength to take out Finn Balor. This is where we see a blind tag from Lio Rush, as Bobby Lashley is going to finish Finn Balor with the spear. So we get a blind tag and Lio Rush misses the frog splash. Balor then isolates Lio Rush, hits a drop kick into the corner as Lashley is on the outside of the ring, recovering from an attack on the side of the ring from Finn Balor as he goes flying off the side of the ring. Hits the coup de grace onto Lio Rush, and your new Intercontinental Champion is Finn Balor, and he did it without dressing up like a demon. So all of those doubters, you can go and take that to the bank, because we've got a new we've got a new tag team champion, but we've got a new IC champion as well. We've got a new Intercontinental champion in Finn Balor, and so far he's held it longer than he held the Universal Championship as well. So we have now a dual champion, or a triple crown champion, if you will, in Finn Balor. He's held the Universal Championship. He was the first ever Universal Champion. He's now held the Intercontinental Championship, and he's also held the NXT Championship on a couple of occasions as well. So well done to Finn Balor. I predicted that. More points for me. And after the match, Finn Balor is obviously celebrating, and this is where the dissension comes in, because then Bobby Lashley attacks Lio Rush, says basically, you cost me the championship, I'm going to kick your ass. And that's exactly what he does. We fade to black and we move on to the next match. So your winner in this match and new Intercontinental Champion is Finn Balor. And your next contest is for the Raw Women's Championship, and is your champion Ronda Rousey, who has been champion for a good long time now, coming up to nearly a year. I think it was around SummerSlam-ish when she won the championship. Certainly coming up to a year since she made her debut at WrestleMania, and she's going against Ruby Riott, someone who hasn't had a very good run on the main roster because for whatever reason, I don't know, she's really good, and she's finally getting her shot here at Elimination Chamber. Now it's no secret on done the rounds, Ronda Rousey is voicing Sonya Blade on the next Mortal Kombat game, so she comes out in Sonya Blade attire, which is really cool. She came out dressed as the White Ranger at Royal Rumble, which was also very cool. But this match, I was hoping for a really good contest, nice long contest, very game Ruby Riott, because we know what she can do from her time in NXT. But it was over in less than 30 seconds. There's nothing I can say about this match other than it was rubbish. Yeah, okay, fair enough. It led to something else, but at least give Ruby Riott some kind of offense in this match. They did have another match on Raw, but I feel like the moment has already gone. Ruby Riott is no longer a contender for that championship, which is a damn shame. But yeah, basically, Sonya Blade gets in. Sorry. So yeah, Ronda Rousey gets in the ring and basically makes Ruby Riott tap out. And that is your match. Your winner is Ronda Rousey. That's it. In the ring, armbar, tap out. Done. Real shame. Anyway, after the match is finished, the man comes out through the crowd. Bearing in mind she is suspended for 60 days until 5 days after WrestleMania. So she's suspended by Mr. Vince McMahon and replaced in that main event for the Raw Women's Championship by Charlotte. The man comes down to the ring. Charlotte noted that is sitting at ringside, so she's waiting for whoever she's going to face at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch comes out through the crowd and beats down Charlotte, who's gotten in the ring at this point to stare down Ronda Rousey. She beats down Charlotte with the crutch, and just as Ronda Rousey, she gives the other crutch to Ronda Rousey, and just as Ronda Rousey is about to hit Charlotte with the crutch, thinking that they formed a little bit of a partnership, the man takes it to Ronda Rousey as well, beats her down with a crutch. She gets arrested, very reminiscent of a Stone Cold Steve Austin. She ain't finished with you yet, Vince. Not yet by a long shot. So your next match is the no disqualification match between Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman. And again, another throwaway match, which is a damn shame, because I think this match could have been really good, especially being no DQ. They could have battled all through the arena, although they don't tend to do that anymore, even though they've added it on the games. So Corbin gets a kendo stick early, beats down Strowman, but Strowman manages to come back and snaps the kendo stick in half. Now, if you've seen a kendo stick, basically think of, in the independent scene in Britain, there's no kendo sticks because they're too expensive. Basically what they do is go and get a load of garden cane and put some electrical tape round either end, and that is a kendo stick. So you can imagine Braun Strowman just going like that was a feat of phenomenal strength, and we know what he can do anyway because he tips over limos and things like that, which is why he's not going for the championship. Anyway, after bit more back and forth. Strowman is in control. We see Drew McIntyre appear with the chair. Just as Braun Strowman is going for Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley comes the other way and hits Strowman over the back with the chair. The two big guys then beat on the other big guy in the ring. Actually, they're all quite tall, aren't they, really? Anyway, they beat down Braun Strowman to the point that he can't really mount any offense. They set up a table, do a shield bomb through the table. This all happens just after Braun Strowman puts Corbin through a table, just as he was about to get the pin, of course. So shield bomb through the table, off the stairs which were brought into the ring. So both parts of the stairs were brought into the ring, and Corbin pins Strowman for the win. Yet another prediction that I got wrong and Ben got right, but I'm not doing too bad so far. It's 2 for 2, I think. 2 and 2 rather. 2 and 3 maybe that I've gotten right. So yeah, I'm doing pretty well with this one. Anyway, so your winner in the no disqualification match is Baron Corbin. And so your final match at Elimination Chamber 2018 was for the WWE Championship, held currently by the new Daniel Bryan, who was in this match. The match was for the championship, not for the #1 contendership. So in this match we have Kofi Kingston, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and of course Daniel Bryan. Again, all 6 guys get in the ring before anything happens. First is Daniel Bryan. He comes in first. Second is Samoa Joe. Daniel Bryan goes all the way in this one. After those 2 guys beat each other up, you get your third entrant, which is Kofi Kingston, the Dark Horse, the man who replaced the other Dark Horse, Mustafa Ali, who got injured and was replaced with Kofi Kingston. You then get AJ Styles coming in at number 4, Jeff Hardy coming in at number 5, and number 6 was Randy Orton. Again, this was predetermined as of a match on SmackDown, a gauntlet match on SmackDown to determine who would come in last. The rest of them were completely random. Obviously Daniel Bryan didn't expect that he was going to have to defend his title from start to finish, as you never do, but I'm loving that new championship, that new environmentally friendly WWE championship, and I'm looking at recreating it in one of my videos just because it's really cool. Anyway, so with all 6 guys in the ring, we get some high spots. Hardy hits a swanton on AJ Styles from the pod. This is unfortunately how he gets eliminated. He gets eliminated at number 2 after that move by a Daniel Bryan running knee. Kofi jumps off the pod and misses, giving Bryan the opportunity to hit the running knee towards the end, and Kofi hits an SOS at the end when there's just him and Daniel Bryan for the finish. Anyway, so Jeff Hardy goes out second. The first elimination happened with Styles, and the phenomenal forearm takes out Samoa Joe first, the monster in this match. Samoa Joe, again, another talent that's not being used very well on WWE television, which is a damn shame because Samoa Joe is awesome. So he goes out first. Jeff Hardy goes out second after hitting that swanton to AJ Styles, and then a flying knee by Daniel Bryan. The third elimination is AJ Styles. So AJ Styles falling from grace in WWE at the moment with an RKO from Orton after catching the forearm attempt from AJ Styles. Number 4 is Randy Orton. The Viper gets taken out by a Trouble in Paradise from Kofi Kingston. Of course, a rivalry dating back to 2010, I believe, which was a really good rivalry back in the day, and it just sort of fizzled out and it didn't really go anywhere. We saw a different side of Kofi Kingston in that rivalry, and we're definitely starting to see it again now. So that takes us to the final 2, which is Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. These two put on an absolute clinic. They climb to the top, they jump off the pods, they beat each other up. At one point there's hand marks on the plexiglass that's above the pods so people can see inside, and just, you know, they get thrown into the pods, they get thrown into the steel, it's madness. Anyway, Kofi hits an SOS and Daniel Bryan kicks out of the pin after that, and Daniel Bryan then hits a running knee to retain the championship after Kofi jumps off the pod and tries to hit a splash. It misses. Daniel Bryan hits the knee. Your champion, your current reigning and defending champion, is still your champion going into Fastlane and really heading into WrestleMania. So your winner and still champion is the new Daniel Bryan after pinning Kofi Kingston. A very game Kofi Kingston in this match. Really, really good match. Both elimination chambers were absolutely fantastic. This was good for different reasons other than the female one, the women's chamber match, but overall fantastic match, and Daniel Bryan retains the WWE Championship. And so that is everything that happened at Elimination Chamber 2019. Overall, a fantastic show. Just going to go through some points now that I made throughout the show, and some good points, some bad points. We're going to start off on a bad point. There was a segment that I didn't even mention because it was just so there. There was a Lacey Evans segment, which after the announcement of well, there wasn't an announcement, there was the face-off between Becky Lynch and for the Women's Championship and things. Lacey Evans came out. No, that was cut off by Corbin, of course. Sorry, dear me. But there was a Lacey Evans segment where she just literally, her music hit, she came out of the curtain, she spun round, went back through the curtain. They tried to make light of this by Lacey Evans tweeting saying, "You didn't think I'd get you all the way through Elimination Chamber without an appearance from me." Completely unnecessary. Makes her look really dumb, to be honest. Makes WWE look really dumb. And yeah, it was completely unnecessary. There was no need for it. It wasn't like the fans needed a pick-me-up or anything. The pay-per-view on the whole was really, really good. But yeah, unnecessary segment there with Lacey Evans. Kofi Kingston's performance in the Elimination Chamber was absolutely phenomenal. He's known for his contributions to the Royal Rumble matches and how he stays in. But this is a different side of Kofi, obviously moving away from the sort of tag team freebird rules of the New Day. Still part of the New Day, of course. They've not split up or anything like that. I think they're still going very, very strong. But it's nice to see that at least one of them could have a singles run. It's nice to see at least one of them could have a singles run if the trigger is pulled on that. The Elimination Chambers, as I said, have been excellent this year. The women's match put to bed a lot of my things that I had wrong with the last tag team match. There was an Elimination Chamber. The ladies pulled it off absolutely perfectly, and it was really, really good. probably the best match of the night. I went out on a limb for Finn, hashtag. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt, on a limb for Finn, and he won the Intercontinental Championship. Finally, he's got a championship after having to give up the Universal Championship a couple of years ago, having been crowned the inaugural Universal Champion. Like I said, the women's match with Ronda Rousey and Ruby Riott made Riott look like a jobber. What's the point? She's brilliant. She's really good. Give her something to do. Don't just like have a job out to Ronda Rousey and then have another match on Raw. No one cares by then. All in all, Elimination Chamber, go watch it. It was really, really good. On that note, that is us done. So hit us up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Click the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit a giant bulldog thing on the notification bell as well to know when we upload new videos. We now have our new announce desk, and that is going to come into play a lot more in future videos. I really like it. Yeah, bit of cardboard construction, which I'm known for, so that's good. And yeah, really enjoying sitting at an announce desk for the first time since forever. So yeah, really good pay-per-view. Join us on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. We're on YouTube. If you like the video, give us a comment. What did you think of Elimination Chamber? Who do you think is going to go in as champion to WrestleMania? Bearing in mind we've got another pay-per-view in between now and WrestleMania known as Fastlane. I really did a good job on the predictions for this one, and the extra questions that Ben put together as well. So I'm quite happy with this pay-per-view. It's something that I would watch again if next year, if I want to watch an Elimination Chamber match, I'd go back to the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Like I say, I had my reservations of it. The women pulled it off absolutely perfectly. So yeah, that is me done. I've been your host, Luke, and you have been the Cheap Shot Nation. This has been everything that happened in Elimination Chamber 2019, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.